It's always the Jews' fault, isn't it?
No, it's not all Israel's fault, but it's certainly massively the fault of a genocidal regime.
Genocidal regime.
Not my opinion. Not my opinion. The ICJ,
was it Israel who attacked Lebanon and Hezbollah on October the 8th, 2022? Or was it the other way around?
Of course,
it all started. It
all started in October 2022. Not 7.
You are not going to believe what you are about to see. Julia Hartley-Brewer just hosted one of the most deluded anti-Western activists we have ever seen. Stick around, because this is wild. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Now, let's watch this together, and then I'll share my thoughts at the end.
Good afternoon, welcome back to the show. 12:38 is the time. Let's talk right now a bit more about what is going on in Iran. Donald Trump has said help is coming, but what help can he give and what help will he give and when? What's he actually going to do? And should Britain be helping? Well, let's talk to Mick Napier about this. He's an activist and anti-war campaigner. He's also co-founder of the Scottish Palestine Solidarity Campaign. Good afternoon to you, Mick.
Yeah.
Should Donald Trump and or Britain help the Iranian protesters today?
Well, if you're going to hire a babysitter, you don't hire somebody who's got a terrible record of child abuse. If you're talking about Britain intervening, Britain has been intervening consistently up until the present day. We negotiated the JCPOA. Britain agreed to that, and pulling out and starting to ratchet up
explain what the JCPOA is to people, just because this is about nuclear. It's about weaponry, nuclear, and also about ability to actually buy stuff from abroad and easing the sanctions, isn't it?
Negotiated as broadly as it could possibly be.
So rather than again keeping on coming back to that, are you saying yes or no? Should Britain and or America, well, America is crucially the country involved, should they do anything? Yes or no? I don't know why you're finding it difficult to answer this question directly.
They should back off. The Iranian people are fighting because they're suffering. They're suffering inflation. They're suffering their living standards falling. And the danger is that when they challenge their own regime, in comes the Americans and the British to take advantage of it because they want control of Iranian oil. This has been the consistent history.
It's all about the oil. Okay.
Absolutely.
I've no doubt at all. There are plenty of people who've got interested, whether it's Venezuela or any country, they're interested in the oil. Here's the key thing there, though. If Donald Trump, as he did, said, look, protest on the streets, and if the Ayatollah and the mullahs send out the IRGC to start shooting people, we will help you. Those young people, a lot of them are young people wanting basic freedoms, the sort of freedoms we live with right now, that they thought they were having that protection, that umbrella of protection from the West. Is there not a moral duty, now that promise has been made, that Donald Trump acts?
Is this Groundhog Day? The Americans and the Brits have just helped in the massacre of maybe 100,000 people in Gaza.
Oh, for goodness sake.
It's a genocide.
It's not a genocide.
Do we want
Get a dictionary, it's not a genocide.
Do we want Fred West as a social worker? Do we want somebody with that record to claim to be acting benignly in the interests of the Iranian people? It's preposterous, and it demands on the most intense amnesia.
Well, you don't actually have to like Donald Trump or agree with his politics or think he's doing it for the right reason if him doing it would save the lives of tens of thousands of young Iranians who want the same freedoms that you and I currently enjoy in this country.
Look, you don't have to be a fan of the Iranian government to say this is a matter for Iranian people to sort out by themselves. They've proven themselves because whoever fights wins the prize, and the Iranian people have a prize.
Hold on a minute, I'm very confused. Why is this a matter for the Iranian people to sort out for themselves? But when it comes to Gaza, the Palestinians, then it's very much a matter that we should get involved in and do what you would say would be the right thing for them, and that we should get involved. We should, not do deals, not sell weapons, not help the Israelis, etc., etc. Why in one case you're quite happy to say, yeah, leave them to themselves, carry on shooting, not really my problem, but with another group of people, we should absolutely take action and take responsibility? What's the difference?
That's absolute nonsense.
That's
We call upon Britain to stop sending arms to Israel, for the RAF to stop supplying intelligence to the Israelis. We call upon Britain not to intervene, because Britain's intervention in Palestine, for God's sake, is obviously a catastrophe.
There isn't actually a place called Palestine, no matter anyone. People can try and recognise that, but there isn't.
What the hell are you talking about? There's no place like Palestine.
So there isn't a country of Palestine.
It's been a name for that area for 3,000 years.
No, it hasn't. That's not true. I mean, that's just not true. So,
really?
I mean, no. I'm so sorry for actually knowing facts, but Nick, that's not true.
Well, in that case, start off with the first fact. Palestine was a key part of the Ottoman Empire. It was autonomous. European colonists came and dispossessed the native people, and you're now saying the people who organised that dispossession can play a benign role in Iran?
When you say that you want the West, Britain, other countries to get out of Palestine, that's not quite consistent with what a lot of activists, pro-Palestinian activists and Palestine solidarity campaigns have been about. Actually, they've actually wanted a lot of help for the people of Palestine. Huge sums of money from the UN. Who do you think funds the UN? It's Western nations who provide most of that funding that goes to UNRWA. Well, used to go to UNRWA and others. You want the West involved when it's a campaign support.
It's simply not true. You can continue to assert that as much as you want, but the key demand of Palestine solidarity campaigners has been to end the complicity, not for Britain to do something, but to stop doing what it's doing.
Why have there been all these demands?
When you see a contradiction, there is absolutely none.
Why have there been all these demands then? Maybe not from you, but certainly other people who work closely with Palestine solidarity campaigns in the UK, where everyone is saying the Prime Minister must act. The Prime Minister must act to save lives, not act. Act.
Is this what passes for journalism? The demand is that the British government stop acting in the malign fashion it has been, and which it has always done, by the way, in Iran as well. The Iranian people know how to deal with their regime.
No, they don't. Well, clearly they don't, because young women get executed for taking their headscarves off.
First of all, when they rebelled in 2022, they secured a modest victory. The Iranian government rode back on the hijab issue, which was very important for a lot of them.
Vaguely.
Iranians don't need the white savior complex from yourself.
Here we go.
Especially when every single intervention in Iran has been maligned from the West. Look, do you remember in the neighbouring country, Madeleine Albright, on the issue of sanctions? She was asked if sanctions had killed 500,000 people, was it a price worth paying? She said yes. Sanctions are a brutal weapon to smash people's lives. And it's not, as you introduced, by saying in order to punish the Iranian regime. It's collective punishment.
It's about undermining a regime that is a danger to the Middle East, danger to its own people, and a danger to the West. Because, of course, just 1 second. The Iranian regime has been funding the likes of Hezbollah, the Houthis, small matter, the Hamas regime that has been blighting the lives of the people of Gaza.
God.
Oh, I'd love to hear a response to that.
Colonial trope. Every time people fight back against their dispossession. How many times has Israel invaded Lebanon? The Lebanese resistance grew out of the experience of Israeli occupation. There used to be no Hezbollah, by the way. It grew out of Israeli occupation.
It's all Israel's fault. It's always the Jews' fault, isn't it?
No, it's not all Israel's fault, but it's certainly massively the fault of a genocidal regime. Not my opinion. The ICJ,
was it Israel who attacked Lebanon and Hezbollah on October the 8th, 2022? Or was it the other way around?
Of course, it all started in October 2022. Not 70 years of ethnic cleansing, not mass sequential.
I always find this fascinating, the ethnic cleansing thing. Are you aware that when Israel came into existence, by the way, with the agreement of the United Nations, which people on your side of the argument constantly seem to think is the fount of all good knowledge. Let me know, Nick. Are you aware that Jews were expelled from every Gulf state en masse in their hundreds of thousands and expelled to Israel? No Jews were allowed allowed to stay in any of those Arab states. Israel, 1%, 1% of that part of the world, and that's the only bit of land they've got. But you don't even want them to have that, do you?
Have I got the wrong number? Am I speaking to the Israeli embassy?
There we go.
Listen, that's absolute nonsense.
Got me 7,000 shekels for that, Mick.
Absolute
got me
nonsense.
7,000 shekels. Can I clarify? Is it shekels, pounds, or dollars? Because I'd rather have that money in pounds because it's worth more.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm talking about politics, not money. You're bringing in strange ideas. Look, this idea that the Arab Jews, because that's who they were expelled from every Arab country.
This idea.
First of all, survivors of that pointed out that Mossad played a role in getting Jews out of Arab countries to go.
They didn't play a role. They were expelled. That was part of the basically exchange.
The corrupt Iraqi regime, which Britain installed, cooperated with the Zionists in order to expel Jews from Iraq. Yes.
No, every country in the Middle East.
But the yes.
I mean, yes.
Excuse me, you were interviewing me. Give me a chance to say something.
Well, not when you say things that are factually incorrect.
Well, let me just say the Zionist underground.
There we go.
People who were part of that. What do you mean? There was a Zionist underground.
Carry on.
Here we go.
But I've got to go to a break soon, so I'll let you finish. But
there was a Zionist underground in Iraq, and people who were part of it later described how they had set off bombs in Jewish cultural centres in Baghdad in order to get Jews.
Right, we're going to. I'm going to have to leave it there because we are massively over time, Mick. We talked a bit longer about PMQ, so we didn't get as much time with you. I hope you come on back again. But seriously, get out of that rabbit hole.
This is the mask slipping. These activists don't care about human rights, they just hate the West. And notice how quickly he pivoted to conspiracy theories? As soon as he was cornered on facts, he started rambling about a Zionist underground in Iraq and accusing a British journalist of working for the Israeli embassy. It's anti-Western, it's anti-fact, and frankly, it's dangerous. Julia was right to shut that down. Why is it that the so-called anti-war mob always seems to be on the side of the world's worst tyrants? Let me know what you think in the comments. Was this man simply deluded, or is this the dangerous new face of the British left? If you want to see more videos like this, hit the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching.